Imagine stepping into an arena where survival isn't guaranteed. Where thousands roar for blood, and the line between entertainment and horror vanishes. But this isn't just legend. In ancient Rome, spectacles pushed cruelty beyond imagination. From gladiators forced to fight to the death, to exotic beasts unleashed on helpless captives. The Colosseum became a stage of brutality, one that shocked even Rome itself. Today, we uncover the darkest, most inhumane arena spectacles of Rome. The ones that went too far. Today, Hollywood paints gladiators as heroes, warriors who chose glory. But the truth was far darker. Most gladiators did not volunteer. They were slaves, criminals, or prisoners of war, thrown into the arena against their will. For them, the games were not glory. They were a slow death sentence. Some faced armed killers with nothing but wooden shields. Others fought chained, starved, or wounded. And yet, the crowd cheered. For Romans, the suffering of others was the price of their entertainment. Rome was not satisfied with human blood alone. The Colosseum became a slaughterhouse of nature itself. Exotic beasts were captured from Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. Lions, leopards, bears, elephants, even crocodiles, all torn from their homelands. They were caged, starved, and then released against terrified men armed with nothing but spears. At times, entire forests were built inside the arena, only to be destroyed in a single day as thousands of animals were killed for spectacle. One emperor, Titus, celebrated the Colosseum's opening with 100 days of games. On a single day, 5,000 animals were butchered before a screaming crowd. To the Romans, this was power. To the world, it was extinction. But still, Rome demanded more. When blood and beasts were not enough, the Colosseum itself was transformed into a sea. Massive pumps flooded the arena, creating an artificial lake. And upon it, real ships clashed in staged naval battles. The fighters were often criminals, condemned to die. Chained together, they had no hope of escape. Some drowned. Some were cut down by blades. The purpose was never survival. It was spectacle, the illusion of war, ending only when the water turned red. The most gruesome of all spectacles were the public executions, damnatio ad bestias. Criminals, rebels, and Christians were stripped, humiliated, and thrown to wild beasts. Some were burned alive. Others crucified, or forced to reenact myths where they played the victim. In one infamous spectacle, prisoners were dressed as Orpheus, torn apart by lions to the laughter of the crowd. For emperors, executions were a message: defy Rome, and your death will entertain the masses. But even in Rome, there were limits. Some spectacles went too far. When animals were driven to extinction, when executions grew more grotesque, and when the sheer scale of death horrified even hardened Romans, whispers spread. Some philosophers condemned the games as corrupting the soul of the empire. But still, the games continued, because cruelty had become Rome's greatest addiction. Today, the Colosseum stands as a ruin, admired by millions, yet built upon rivers of blood. The stones may be silent, but if you listen closely, you can almost hear the roar of the crowd, the clash of steel, the cries of the condemned. Rome claimed to be the light of civilization. But in its darkest arena, humanity itself was put to death. And it leaves us with one chilling question. When cruelty becomes entertainment, when suffering becomes a spectacle, how far will we go, before we too cross the line?